Sometimes our people disagree with you, but I mean, I understand some of your approach. I mean, sometimes we take a hard bite. It helps us as politicians.
Nowadays, when I listen to you, I even panic.
Why?
Maybe, hey,
why do you panic?
The way you when I listen to you, I even panic.
Why?
Maybe, hey,
why do you panic?
The way you Papa, you know Papa.
Figuratively, he bites as hard as he can.
Okay.
And of course, when he puts his fangs into you, you certainly feel it. I think it pretty.
Watch Johnnie's bite.
The Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runneth over, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Johnnie's Bite. I want to first of all celebrate the police, because when they do what is not correct, we hit. But when they do what is also right, because yesterday, viral video that made rounds suggested that a thief who had, or an alleged thief who had snatched somebody's phone around the Kwame Nkrumah Circle area was arrested on board a trotro vehicle, and he had to be taken to the Tesano police station. So kudos to the Ghana Police Service, IGP Dampari, and your men and your boys and girls, as you like to say it, for those of you in uniform. But also yesterday, while the police were doing a good job, pensioners were busy picketing at the Ministry of Finance. Oliver, ready that video for me. The finance ministry was besieged, if you will, by pensioners. And I'm passionate about pensioners because I've been on the campaign, let the retirees go and let the young grow. Let the retirees go and let the young grow. Let the retirees go and let the young grow. So when people have eventually left in a dignified manner, when people have left in a very dignified manner, and the little money they have to be taking care of themselves, because, I mean, BP, diabetes, all of those ones, they are holding their own money. After we have eaten everything, the next point is that we want to tax pensioners' money. Yesterday they met the finance minister. Take a look.
So at this juncture, looking at what we have been able to do, being really very clear on where we are as a nation and what part of the contribution you want to. So I want at least one of you to tell me exactly what it is that is so egregious.
We know that you talk about moving from 0 to 15, but you see, none of us contracted bonds at 0%. So it's hard for us to even make a comparison from 0. For us, we look at it from what terms we accepted when we took our bonds that were issued. And if we are haggling over 3%, that should tell you how dire our situation is and how vulnerable we are. If 3% means so much to us, so that's what we want you to look at. We are asking for you to totally exempt us from this program. We are not that many, you know. You know the total value. You do know that a third of us or so go beyond 5%. But those 5 years, but you know, when people were buying bonds, they saw the terms of the bonds, and they had objectives when they bought bonds. Their objectives are that they are looking for maturities to match certain plans in their lives. And that is why people picked bonds that they picked at the time that they did. So even though it's a good thing that you may be wanting to bring some people whose bonds mature way beyond 2028 to that point, bringing it forward to 2028 or so, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good thing that you're doing for them, because they have their objectives and they know why they picked the bonds that they picked. But please, we depend on our coupons. We've done all the math. We know what to expect. We know how to add that to whatever other income we get, either from Social Security or whatever. We've planned our lives around these bonds. Some people, when they do the computation, they tell you that what they are going to be getting per month or so is just like 1,000 cedis or 2,000 cedis or something, but they have planned their lifestyles around it. So please, total exemption is what we ask. We are not many. Please look at us and do this for us. We are vulnerable. We don't want to be a burden on you, on the country, or on our children. We want to be a burden on ourselves. And so we planned our lives in such a way that we will be a burden on ourselves.
So this is what the pensioners had to say. And they told the finance minister that they had objectives and they never bought the bonds at 0%. So let nobody make it look as if they are being done favors. Let nobody look at it more so when they are senior citizens who have children and grandchildren. They had objectives. That's what they said. The most important thing, they had objectives because your housing policy in this country is rubbish. Social protection is rubbish. They had objectives because they don't want to go a begging. We have managed to mismanage the economy of this country. That's what we have done. All of what we're going through. When we started complaining, they told us it's Russia, Ukraine, and COVID. Now, when the COVID audit report came, we knew that it was actually not the case, that we actually mismanaged. And we are watching Parliament. So we have mismanaged it. The Russian-Ukraine war has not ended. But here we are. Oliver, find me Mr. Alan Tremantin's audio. Mr. Alan Tremantin, who not so long ago was our Minister for Trade, a member of the economic management team, he made a statement. Listen.
You are Huchim, a yadia, Ubia was say, Obedi Nukrabia Betmaka say, how be anyhow. Seramekana, Yaya Juma. Nasusa, Huchea Beniti. Ama say MPP. Aba yebekwa to no 2024 message ye debekwa no eya ye din amayen ana fesusu yesusu nim se ade ba ko a adi enya wo Ghana pa ni se aban bi ba efiri kwa me kro abre so aban bi ba obehye bibi ase a foforo ba do aye ni nyina no na wo butu no no be she bibi foforo ase atoa so saa bepem ayewra kofo adobaye na chese ebeye den no man wakọ nim say yebenya paade a ana kebeka say for the first time yema monto aso de enye wo mu no yebeyi afrim na mom de ye wo mu no ntino miento aso na yenhwe se saa de ye wo mu no a ebo aman na ebetime tintim a na daachi bi se yetimi wie na tintim pa na se obi foforo beba na nka dama obi foforo aba.
That is Mr. Alan Kojo Tremantin. He wants to be president someday. But he said something. He said they have done some work, the government, but because of what is happening, even it makes that difficult for the couching of political campaign messages. He's a member of the economic management team, a former member of the economic management team. Dr. Baumia, who also wants to be president, former member of the economic management team. Mr. Ken Oforiatta, a former member of the management team, former Greek minister. They are all part, and he says that it makes it difficult for them. Remember what Mr. Kennedy Japan said, who also wants to be president. He said, those who took us to the IMF are not fit to lead us. Oforiatta is part, Alan Tremantin is part, a Greek minister is part. And he says, any government who goes to the IMF has failed. This is not me. Mr. Tremantin is corroborating what has been said. Now, I'll read for you a statement by the Independent Bondholders Association of Ghana. We'll wrap up with that one. So there's clear indication that the economy has been mismanaged. A clear indication. There's no debate about that. that the economy has been mismanaged. Now, if the economy has been mismanaged, who must we hold accountable? You see, all of the conversations, the government is not taking a portion of the blame, and that's the painful part of the conversation. The bondholders you saw, the pensioners, you are touching old people's money. You are literally taking the money out of their pockets, and you are giving them excuses and saying that if the people are beyond a certain age or within a certain age bracket, they get so and so. The money, did you put the money into their pocket? They pay me my money for working. I decide to save and buy instruments, which are proven over the years to be the safest. Now it has become risky to be a bondholder. And the man who led us into the ditch has his cousin as the president, and they are holding on and like Helen says, holding us to ransom. What is so special about Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, which is why the president cannot let him go? What is so special that the president cannot let him go? I want to know. What is so special is the president trying to clean Mr. Ofori-Atta up so that if he wants to get into consultancy later, it becomes easy for him. Because right now, dear, it's a case of Ukohokoyedeng. It's a case of Ukohokoyedeng. Listen to Mr. Martin Pebu. He says, Ken Ofori-Atta lies and inconsistencies, Independent Bondholders Association of Ghana. The Individual Bondholders Association of Ghana has noted with concern the contents of the final memorandum, but we have the memo, but because of time we can't share with you. From the Ministry of Finance and the Domestic Debt Exchange, we are astounded to learn of the government's intention to default on the payment of the February 6th, yesterday. Some people's bonds matured. They have not been paid. It matured. They have not been paid. February 6, 2026 maturities and coupons as contained in the memorandum. This is contrary to our engagement with the finance minister and its assurance that individual bondholders are free not to participate in the DDE. They told us that it is voluntary. That's the message sent out there. But now your bonds have matured and you have not been paid your monies. How voluntary is that one? So it's Ajana 1, Ajana 2. He further promised that government will honor the old bond coupons and maturity as they fall due. These were the words. I told you yesterday that the government is suffering from credibility issues. Because if you want us to have a compromise, if you want us to have a middle ground, and at every step of the way you tell me one thing and do the direct opposite, why would I trust you? People are not signing on to it. Today is the deadline. Deadline number 4. People are not signing on to it, and we are being told that the economy will crash if we don't do it. We all know that. But can government keep its side of the word, of the deal and of the bargain? You told them that you will pay the bonds when they mature while you have the negotiations, and that you will pay the old coupons. You told them that. So why are you doing the direct opposite? That's the question. And you see, Mr. Ofori-Atta's posture, according to Mr. Martin Pebu, in this same thing, we don't have too much time, he says that he doesn't listen to anybody. And he's not the first to have said it. He is not the first to have. The people in government, deep-throated sources who have said he doesn't listen to anybody. Mr. Pebu has written this on behalf of the Individual Bondholders Association of Ghana. You remember that a few months ago, the Chief of Staff had written a circular suggesting or giving the directive that if you are a government appointee or a minister and an allegation is thrown at you, as Mr. Pebu and his team are doing, you have 12 hours to respond to it. It's been more than 12 hours. The finance minister has not responded directly to this one. And you know why? It gives us the impression that people are more MPP than other MPP people, and people are more special within the same government of which they are all part. I'll demonstrate that to you. When the motion of censure was put up against Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, and there was the hearing in Parliament, and he had to appear before the committee in Parliament, the Chief of Staff, who has said that people had 12 hours to answer questions, Mr. Ofori-Atta had been there for more than a week or so, he had not uttered a word. But the chief of staff found it prudent to come and sit behind Mr. Oforiatta on live TV in Parliament, when she herself had told us that if you falter or an allegation is made against you, you have 12 hours to respond to it. So some people are more special, and that's why you'll be wondering why the finance minister is still at post. I've just told you. Good morning.
People disagree with you, but I mean, I understand some of your approach. I mean, sometimes we take a hard bite. It helps us as politicians.
Nowadays, when I listen to you, I even panic.
Why?
Maybe,
Why do you panic?
the way you, Papa, you know Papa.
Figuratively, he bites as hard as he can.
Okay.
And of course, when he puts his fangs into you, you certainly feel it. I think it prickles.
Watch Johnnie's bite.